He's going to do a lecture on the art of positional chess. He's a very talented young player, and let's enjoy the show. So come on up nice and close if you're interested in watching the lecture, so you can hear the sound kind of doesn't carry out a little bit. I'll try to get to the picture.
Okay, so I'm going to be reviewing positional chess, and my first game is going to be against someone with approximately 500 point power rating. And I was black in this game. Start off with E4, very typical move. I responded with E5. I have 3. And the most popular move for black is knight C6. And white has a few options to respond. Since I figured my opponent was much better than me, I decided to leave theory as quickly as I could. Played knight F6. And white has a few options here. They could defend the pawn with the knight with knight C3 as a possible move. They could take the pawn with the knight, or they could go D4. My opponent decided to take the pawn, which is a typical idea. I didn't take the pawn right away because then my knight would get in with the queen. So I picked up the knight with the pawn. The knight retreated to F3. I took the pawn. And I'm already committed here to play a very passive game because of my pawn on B6. Blocks off my bishop, but I haven't really made any clear weaknesses in it. Knight C3, typical move, and I took. So right away, my opponent has made a positional error. He doubled up both of his pawns. Even though he has made his T6 much more open to the attack. I did also my bishop. The only square that I could put it to. Bishop F4, and the idea of Bishop F4 is not to allow my knight to jump to E5, because the idea when you're playing in a passive position, the person that's playing the passive side is always trying to trade the material. So Bishop F4 is played. I played knight C6, just wanted to develop pieces, queen D2, and I castle. Right away committing to my position, and I haven't really made any weaknesses yet, while my opponent really has these. Castle. And I play bishop E6, finishing my development, because I want to make sure all my pieces are developed first. Bishop E3, and now white's idea is to get attack on the king side. Well, black's idea is to trade as many pieces as possible. So first off, I played A5, and this may look like a weakening move, but the idea is actually to take the pawn. And if white were to ignore it by playing a move like H4, I'd be able to take the pawn. Go B3 in order to trap my bishop, which is fine. I would attack it with A4. And he wouldn't want to take the pawn because then I'm up a pawn and I have space for my bishop. If he attacks the bishop here, I'd be able to defend it by taking this pawn. You take. My deal would go bishop F6 and rook A1. And I have actually more than enough compensation to take the pawn here and start a huge attack on the king. But I'll probably just go knight E4 in order to save the bishops and at the same time continue on with the attack. And I'm actually up at 0 on that point. So I forced him to go king D1, and the idea was that when we trade off all the pieces, he'd have to retreat back to C1 and waste another time. So I played bishop F6 with the idea of knight E5 in order to trade off the pieces. Sorry, the pawns. He played H4 with the idea of knight G5 and starting to attack my king. And my idea was simple: just trade off as many pieces as possible and go into a better endgame because of these double pawns. Knight E5, knight G5, and the idea, and white has a few ideas. The idea is to put pressure on the H7 pawn, break a lot of attack on the king side, and as well create a weakness by taking the knight, taking the bishop with the knight. Here I made an error. I attacked the knight with the pawn because I was afraid of this of taking my pawn. But what I should have probably done is just taking the bishop and then just defending by moves like taking the knight, and I would have had any. When I played H6. It was a really committed move because white could have taken it, which is what he didn't do, but this is a possibility. He takes. And then queen e2. With the idea of putting a lot of pressure by the h7 b1 diagonal, and at the same time put a lot of pressure on the e6 pawn. It'd be nearly impossible to defend it. So if I make like a simple move like a4, then he goes for queen d4 with h7, and I can't defend it. And if I do go king h8, to not allow my pawn to come in, you could take the knight, and take, and then he goes queen e4. With the idea of mating the king, and if I defend with the rook, I lose my rook into g4, and I'm just dead lost. So I didn't do that. So I kicked the head out. He took. And instead of going after my pawn, he decided to retreat his bishop, which kind of makes sense because his bishop is the strongest minor piece on the board, and he still wanted. But now the weakness on h7 to b1, and he can take advantage of it. So instead, I decided to play a defensive move, covering this diagonal with knight g6. And the idea was to attack the bishop with an idea of taking the pawn. The idea of just to take the pawn right here. What white should have done is sacrifice the bishop for the pawn here. That way when I take, he takes. And if I defend with the queen, he can give me a pin by bishop h5. And if I move my knight to any square, like e7 or h8, then he could easily attack me by rook lifts, and my king would be very weak in the very easy attacks. Your idea is bishop h5 and rook g3. So if I go king f7, he has queen h7, and then king e8, bishop h5, rook e1, and defending would be very hard for white for black in this situation. Yeah, so my opponent missed that, and instead he played bishop f3. Which makes sense. He wants to create some pressure on the b7 pawn, but he just missed that c3 is handy. So I took advantage of that right away. So taking with the pawn would just weaken up his king, so taking with the queen is the only option. I'm taking, sorry, let's see. You take the bishop, and white's best bet here is to take the pawn, which he didn't do. But if he does take it, I go rook b8. And wherever he chooses the bishop, I'll just go into a good endgame for myself. I have the central pawns and I'm a bit better here. But I guess he was just, I think white was just worried of me giving a huge attack by the b-file. So he decided against taking the pawn. And then he played bishop e4. So now I'm up the pawn and I just wanted to defend this guy right away. So I played c6. 6 with the idea of not allowing my opponent to take e7. G3. So the idea was to kick out my knight, and because my knight was defending my king of some sort, so instead I decided to bring him here in order to defend my d6 pawn, which was a little weak at this point. Queen d2. And now my idea is to create some attack on the king's side, and at the same time be able to attack the pawn. So queen b6. Queen b6 has two ideas here. It's to put pressure on the f2 pawn, and at the same time get a huge attack on the king. F4. So his idea was just not to hang the pawn. What I should have done is I should have played a4 right away, and then played a3 and continued on with my attack. But what I did was mistake. What I did was I played rook e8 because I was afraid that this d6 pawn would be really weak and it would be really easy for him to attack it. So I played rook e8, which actually was a waste of move. White responded with rook h1, centralizing the rooks. Very good move. I played a4. And my idea here is just to continue on with my attack and to create some weaknesses a weakness for me. I don't really want to take it. Because then he takes here. And if I take with the pawn, he takes the queen, and then takes my pawn, and then we're equal material. It goes at 5, and instead I wanted to use another weakness out there, A3. Forcing me to go B3, and now he has a huge weakness by the A1 diagonal, and at the same time, I want to take advantage of that. Queen C5. So my idea is just to go knight C3 to gain much more space on the queen side. He goes C4. Really his only way to stop knight C3. I took. Because I just wanted to go in because I wasn't really comfortable with my position. And my goal was if he does take here, then black has a sneak to move up knight C3 and then winning the bishop. Took my knight with the bishop. And I'm up a pawn here, but it's clear that I have way too many weaknesses and I can't defend them all. So instead I was willing to sacrifice that in order to give myself more play. So I played rook e8. What I was anticipating was that he takes, I take it and I waste one of my pawns. And eventually trying to promote these two guys and to create a very unbalanced position. But instead he just retreated his rook here. I guess he didn't want to trade the rooks. So instead I decided to play the attacking move with rook e3. The idea is to put pressure on g3, so if he takes, I can take his pawn. Take rook e3. So I give a check. And the idea is if he does go king c2, you give a check. It was the a2 pawn. So instead he covers up the check with a rook. And I roll my rook over to the open file. Because even though I'm giving up a pawn, I'm getting a lot of compensation because this pawn on A2 is going to fall. So as he took, and I took advantage of rook e1, rook a1. And my goal is now to, not actually to promote this, but to give up this pawn in order to take one of these pawns in order to help a kingside pawn push. So he played rook e8, which I thought was a weak move, because he helped me out. I was planning on bringing over my king to the kingside area. He should have just continued on with this plan of pawn push. He's going to check though. B4. The idea here is that when I take, I just want to get he goes king b3, and now I go after the kingside pawn, which was the original goal. Okay? So if he doesn't take, if he goes here, then I'll just continue pushing this pawn. And he played king a4. Now his idea is to take my b7 pawn and start going for a pawn push. My idea was to just promote this pawn, and I didn't want to push it right away because then the rook would get behind it. My goal was to get behind the pawn, because in most rook endgames it's best to go behind your pawn rather than in front of it or beside it. So I was considering this move and moving the pawn, but the problem was I didn't really want him to go king b5, me taking, then him winning this pawn, and then going into a very unbalanced position. Instead, I decided to go rook g6. With the idea of going rook f6 and promoting. What I didn't notice, and what you didn't notice either, was rook f8. The idea is that if I do go rook f6 and you take, you go after my pawn. Okay, this is a really long line, so it's hard for anyone to visualize over the board. And I don't want to push because then his king comes up, so I want to help out. And if I do go king g4, then he can go king g2, and if I continue on here, then he get king g2 and promote his pawn. If he goes king end up actually losing here because these two pawns are promoted. So instead, it's better for me to go king g5 instead of going king g4, and then he ends up attacking these pawns. So you go b5, I go king b5 going after his pawns, c6, I'll take, I ran for 5 minutes straight. And actually, this endgame is winning for me because if he does go for my pawn, so then they were getting so that's why I used to go out with my pawn, so I go on my you take, and I just push. And my pawn goes to queen before his does, and I go to the easy way. But that didn't happen. And I guess he just didn't. I guess he didn't see that, but it wouldn't have helped him either way. So I played rook g6. My idea also with rook g6 was to not allow these pawns to be promoting. This pawn is holding it as well as my rook. So I had two different ideas. So rook g6. His idea is just to promote. I go f4. And now this move is actually useless now because I could cover up with my rook and his king is way too far from my pawn. Brought it back. Rook f1. And now his rook is behind my pawn. Rook f6. And now my idea is to go g5 in order to help this pawn promote. To get a queen. So he played a good idea with h5. And now the idea is I can't go g5, and it just takes off my zone. And if I do go rook f5 and take this pawn, then I lose this pawn. So I decided to go here anyway. So that way, if he does take and I take, then I still have this pawn to promote with the help of my king. So I do with b5, h5, play c6, in order to win this pawn back and hope to get some chances for the draw. Now the problem is his king is way too far to help out from stopping this pawn to promote. So I just go h4, he played king e3, but I'm cutting off his king, so I don't even have to worry about it. I go here, with the idea of helping out my pawn to promote. Play rook f8. I played h3, the idea of pushing the pawn even further, he gave me a check. I covered with the rook, and now I don't have to worry about his king, because his king is way too far from the pawn. Rook h8, rook h6, he gave me another check, and I played here, at which point he resigned, because he would have to give up the rook for the pawn, and the rook and king versus king is obviously with him. So what to take away from this game is that I gave him weaknesses in order to help myself out in the endgame, and he created a lot of weaknesses for himself, which clearly hurt him in the end. Okay, so that was my first game. My second game was actually a few months ago in Hungary, where I played a guy who was 350 points higher rated than me. And it was a very interesting game. opponent started off with e4. I was actually expecting e4 because I prepped for him a bit, and he always had his games e4, so he decided to catch me by surprise with d4. I responded with knight f6. Very typical move, giving me a lot of options, not really revealing anything yet. Played knight f3. And the idea is, he doesn't want to reveal any of the secrets either, because most openings with d4 involve knight f3. I played e6, c4, and here I just played c6. I didn't want to go into mate theory, which was d5, because I didn't want to go into a very non-symmetrical position against someone that was higher rated than me. Instead, I played c6. With the idea of going d5 next move, so he played g3 here, played a Catalan. So that way when I go d5, if he takes, it'll be more equal and more balanced because it's much more symmetrical in terms of pawn structure. He played bishop g2. Taking this pawn is an option, but instead I just decided to develop all my pieces instead of pushing more pawns. I already pushed 3 pawns, I thought that was more than enough. Castle. Which I responded with castle. He played queen c2, which is theory in this opening. I go knight d7, and yes, I'm a little bit passive, but I have an idea coming up, which I'll say in a second. Rook d1. And my idea is to go b6 and develop my bishop to d7, and then to open up my the structure here on the line of the king side. Bishop f4. And actually, most people do go b3. With the idea of going bishop e2, knight c2, trying to go e4, e5, trying to keep the center. So something like if you had played e3, I would play bishop e7, bishop e2. And then I try to create play on the queen side as well as bring my rook here and the queen a8 in order to create play on this on these diagonals. I go queen a8 and to open up the position. Instead he played bishop e4, and I still try to treat it as the same move as bishop e7, knight c3. And then here, for white to gain more space, which is quite often. So my idea is, this idea of pushing the pawn wouldn't be as strong, because this idea wouldn't be working because he could just take. And if I do take with this pawn, my rook is shot. Instead I decided to play I decided to take right away. And I love the pawn, and it's not really clear how he can take this pawn right away. And I'm a little passive, trying to take control over the d5 square with my knight with the next move. Play knight d2. Here, white's idea is just to take the c4 pawn and to reposition the situation. I played knight d5, which was my original idea anyways. And what I should have done is I should have played knight f6 right away, and I would have been able to hold the center. Instead, what I did was I played e5, which is actually a positional error. What he should have done is knight d6. I wouldn't take, because he takes with the bishop, and now his bishop is taking over all my pawn, all the squares, has a lot of mobility, and I'm positionally lost here actually. Instead, I would have taken the bishop. And see, even though we have a different color bishop endgame, it's hard for me to even approach that situation because he has a really strong king side attack that he with f5, and none of my pieces are defended by king at this moment. And I'm actually pretty bad in this position. None of my pieces are really developed, and none of my pieces are staying with good squares. My queen is actually kind of useless. He has a lot of pressure on c6, which he could open up with a4 and knight e5. The situation's getting very complicated. But I guess he was a little scared and instead he played knight e5. And right away I was relieved because I didn't have to worry about all my weaknesses by this diagonal. And I realized that this was a huge weakness because of all these squares. If I ever lose this bishop, then he could take advantage of it quite easily. I decided to take the knight because, as I said in the previous game, trading is always a good idea if you're on the passive side. Well, if you're attacking, it's not a good idea to trade in most situations. He took up the pawn, which is he made a positional error, a cue point. He just blocked a full diagonal for his bishop, and at the same time, he lost control over the c5 square, and he doubled up his pawn. Had he taken with the bishop, I would have tried to create some play on the queen side with queen e6 and rook d8 and c5, trying to create myself some play. But if I go m6, in order to kick out the bishop, you can just go bishop f4. And taking would not be a good idea because of how weak my e6 square would be, and it can be easily attacked with queen e4 and bishop h3. And now my position is very free in terms of the queen side, which is where I directed my play for the rest of the game. My idea was to move my queen away from the 10, and I won because e4 is a current threat right now. And my idea was just to move my queen away from there as quickly as I could. And now he's just helping my case because now he's trading the knight, and now he just got rid of my backward pawn, which was ruining my situation for him. Actually, my only weakness is this c6 pawn right here. And as soon as he eliminated this position, I officially had no positional weaknesses. My position was great on the queen side, and now I have this open c-file that he has created for me. And now my goal is to take advantage of the c-file. So yeah, so he took. Bishop e3. And now, had he played bishop e2, I most likely would have repeated the moves because he was like 300 points higher rated than me. And he was worried about the situation. So instead, he decided to play a3. The idea is to cut out, to go b4 to create some play on the front side. But what he's not realizing is that when he goes b4, he'll create this huge weakness on c4, which I'll take advantage of with my rook. My idea is now to jumble up on the c-file because he's going to make the play. So you just get rid of rook c4. Now my idea is to stop any pawn pushes on the fourth rank and as well bring the rook over on the c-file to take full control on the queen side. And honestly, I had no idea what he was doing because he was wasting a lot of moves on things that made no sense to me. So I decided to continue on with the plan of c8. And I was starting to get really confused. He's not really making any good moves, and he hasn't made any progress with his position in the past few moves. And instead, I decided to go a6. My idea was to put another piece on the c-file, and then to trade more pieces, which was my original goal. F4. And now finally everything made sense. He was just trying to create some play on the king side, while he knew I created not a lot of play on the queen side. G6. My idea was to not allow him to go on 5, so I just played G6. played g4, which is obviously a positional mistake because of this angle. I mean, this move wouldn't have made any progress, even though I do attack a few weak squares. Instead, I decided to just ignore it, because really, f5 is not something I should worry about at this moment. At the inside, I don't really think it was something I should be afraid of. Which was my goal, to bring more pieces on the c5. So he's creating something inside bishop c5, and he was absolutely shocked, because I just ignored all of his ideas, and honestly, I had nothing to worry about at this point. He goes f6. I go h3. What I was worried about was if he ever gets his queen in, then defending the square will be kind of difficult if we trade off the bishop. So I decided to make my queen now with right. I made the position even much more difficult for him to attack and to control over because my idea was to bring to go rook c2. My idea was to take the bishop, and if he takes, I'll go rook c2 here. So he decided to not keep that opportunity by going here. Continuing on the play on the queen side, as well as putting the bishop on a3, and forcing him to create a weakness. I was a little worried that he'd start rook lifting and start attacking my king, but even this position, he doesn't have a lot of, he doesn't have immediate mating ideas. So, and even getting this rook up to here would take a lot of moves. So, I wasn't worried. Putting my queen on an open file on the b-file now. So he's used to go rook h3 to go after my pawn. And now my idea is to open up the diagonal for the bishop, and as well also bring my pawn closer to promote it. And here I made a small mistake. I took with the pawn. Taking with the queen would have been even better because I'm taking up even more space on the queen side. But I took with the pawn, which was kind of I blocked some space off for my queen, but it wasn't too big of a deal. Play bishop f1. Now I'm starting to realize that his queen is starting to run out of squares. His queen doesn't have a lot of places to go. But I decided to take it. So that's why I took. I played bishop a6 to go pressure on the queen. My idea is to go with c1. And he can't take the bishop because if I take, he can't take with the bishop because his king is 10 by my rook. So now he has to worry about putting his queen somewhere. And honestly, he doesn't have really that many good places to go. And great, he opened up even more for me on the queen side. Continued on with my attack, and you realize he hasn't made any progress on the queen side yet. So now he has to worry about his hanging queen. And I actually wasn't really sure what this move was doing. So I go b3 in order to cement my rook on c2 and making it impossible for him. Play bishop e2. And I play rook c2. And here he's actually just losing because his queen has no places to go. And if he does play, and I'm taking this pawn and I'll easily promote this pawn to queen. And it'd be nearly impossible for him to defend you. And yeah, you'd just be losing the piece for the pawn. Right here, my opponent just resigned because if he goes queen e4, sorry, I forgot to mention this as well. Okay.
And rook c2. And now he loses the bishop for free. I mean, it wasn't really his basketball, but my idea in this game was the same as in the last. Try to take slow advantage of every mistake that he's making, and try not to give my opponent way too much love. So, thank you for listening, guys.